Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. So yesterday session we discussed about implementation project. We created a implementation project and we assigned a couple of offerings to that implementation project, and we've gone through the overview how to verify the status, as well as what is the advantage for the client, as well as what is the disadvantages that specific implementation project concept. Then from today's session, we'll start configuring basic enterprise structure setups. Ideally, our program is supply chain management and manufacturing training. But even in supply chain management also, let's take an example. You want to create a business unit. Any sales and purchases you are going to do under business unit only. So for business unit, you need ledger and legal entity. So to post all those transactions, you need a ledger assignment, as well as to pay the tax, as well as maintaining legal employees, you need a legal entity assignment. So rather than using Oracle seeded data, we'll create our own setups for enterprise structure, top level enterprise, ledger, as well as legal entity. But let's go with basic setups. Let's go with basic setups to legal entity. From business unit onwards, we'll go with in detailed discussion. So log into the application with our user September_user1. Okay, what is the top level of the enterprise structure? Someone tell me what is okay, someone tell me the enterprise structure step by step. What is the top level in enterprise structure?
We have enterprise.
Enterprise follows to
Divisions,
which is a optional concept. So follows to ledger, follows to legal entity, follows to business unit, follows to inventory, sub-inventory, and stock locators if required. So first we need to configure enterprise. Enterprise is nothing but it's a head office. If you refer to e-business suite, it's a business group. If you refer to e-business suite, it is a business group. So at enterprise level only, we are going to maintain company head office related information, trading information, as well as, so if you want, you can maintain employee structures also. We can maintain employees at enterprise level, or else in cloud application we can maintain at legal entity level also. In cloud application we can maintain at legal entity level also. That means in simple terms, enterprise is nothing but head office. In e-business suite, when you compare with e-business suite, enterprise is nothing but business group. Okay, tell me what are the basic setups required to configure business group in e-business suite? What are the basic setups required to configure business group in e-business suite? So whatever setups we are going to discuss, most of the sessions, not only for these discussions, across application. So we'll try to we'll try to cover both EBS as well as cloud. So you will familiarize the differences, as well as it is easy to understand, as well as it is easy to explain in interviews also. So that is the reason we'll cross verify whenever there is a possibility. So if you want to configure business group, we need key flexi fields. What are they? Job flexi field, position flexi field, people group flexi field, grade flexi field, competence flexi field, and cost allocation flexi fields. Remember? Okay, first thing, is everyone able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So whatever is there is no nothing. Not everyone will know everything. So what I will suggest to you is, guys, please make a note whenever we discuss. Okay, it will help you definitely. If you make a note, that will help you. Okay. So in e-business suite, if you want to configure business group, you need a location for business group, as well as you need you need to configure 6 key flexi fields. Those are job flexi field, position flexi field, people group flexi field, grade flexi field, competence flexi field, and cost allocation flexi field in cloud application. So we don't need to configure all these flexi fields. One is people group flexi field concept is there, but if you want to configure enterprise, first thing, all these things are not mandatory, and second, we even don't have job or position flexi fields also. Then what is the mandatory setups to configure enterprise? First, we need to configure location. Okay, before defining location, we have a concept which we need to discuss in detail At the time of configuring the business unit, at the time of defining setup business unit, we need to discuss on that setup, but I will give you an overview. First thing, in e-business suite, I have two operating units. Let's take US operating unit and UK operating unit. In US operating unit, so in order management, do we have transaction types concept?
Sarath.
Yes, as well as in, for example, let's take example payables. Do you have payable payment terms concept? We have payable payment terms, receivable payment terms, transactions types. All these are like one of the setups in e-business suite in terms of sales and purchases. So I want to configure, I want to perform setup in US business unit. So and the same setups I want to use in UK business unit without recreating. Is that possible in e-business suite application? Simple thing. I have two operating units, US operating unit and UK operating unit. So now I am defining setups in the application for US operating unit. What are the setups? So transaction types for order management, receivable payment terms, payable payment terms. All these three setups are defined in US operating unit. Same setups I want to use because the same payable terms are same, transaction types are same, as well as receivable payment terms also same. So same setups I want to use in UK operating unit without recreating. Is that possible or not?
No.
No, it's not possible. In e-business
Sure.
suite, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying the same.
Okay, so in e-business suite, for each and every operating unit, we need to configure. So we cannot use the same data. Then what is the disadvantages with that? First thing, time. Again, you need to define the data. Second thing, duplication of data in the tables. Correct? So to overcome this disadvantage, Arc will come up with a solution in cloud application. The solution is a data reference set. With the help of data reference set concept, we can create data in one area, one operating unit. Here we will say business unit, and we can share the same data across business units, across a number of business units. We can share the data. That is the concept we say data reference set. And data reference set concept is applicable for nearly 62 objects. Like transaction type is one object, one business object. So payment terms, payable payment terms is one business object. Customer sites is one business object. Likewise, across application, nearly 63 objects, 63 different setups we can share across business units by creating in one area. So I said at business unit, then why we need to discuss now? Business unit, maybe we are going to configure day after tomorrow, or maybe by Monday we are going to configure business unit. Then why I'm discussing now? So for enterprise, for top level in enterprise structure is enterprise. To configure enterprise, the location we need to define. Again, location is not mandatory, but if you want to define location, you need to define in a data reference set only. That is the reason I'm explaining over you. Again, we'll discuss at the time of creating the business unit. So go to setup and maintenance, navigate to setup and maintenance, navigate to. So as we decided initially, till creating the inventory setup, we'll configure from procurement offering. Navigate to procurement offering. So here the setups is divided into functional areas. Initial users functional area, where we can see the setups related to creating the initial users. Now I'm going to enterprise profile functional area. So click on show all task. The first setup we need to configure is a reference data set, or else you can pronounce as a data reference set also. Click on manage data reference set. So if you created already, then we can search from the list of values, but so far we didn't create it. So I'm going to create our own data reference set by click on plus icon. Click on create a new data reference set, set code. Our batch is September. So any setup I am going to configure, I will start with SEP underscore. So any setup we are going to configure, I will start with SEP underscore. SEP DRS. So set code is SEP DRS. Set name SEP DRS. Nothing but SEP space data space reference set. Just here I am using shortcode. So data reference set. This is my data reference set. Select save. Once you save, the set code is going to be grayed out and we cannot modify again. We don't have the functionality. If you want to modify the naming convention in real time, you need to raise a request to the Oracle, and Oracle has to do from backend. Here we even don't have tables access in cloud database. So that is the reason. So whenever you are configuring any setup, whenever you are defining set code, so ensure that the naming convention is correct. So if this is wrong, and once you save it again, so in demo environments, we have to create another one. In real environment, so you have to create another, or else if you want to change the existing one, then you have to go with the complete changes by creating a SR. So click on save. Click on save. So once you save it, automatically set code is going to be grayed out mode, but we can update name and description, and click on save and close. So we defined a data reference set. So again, if you want to search whether you created correct or not, go to same navigation, navigate to procurement offering, select enterprise profile functional area, select manage reference data sets, select manage reference data set. So here in the set code, so SEP, earlier whenever we are searching the user, can we use percentage? To search user, can we use percentage?
No.
No, but here we can use. So you may ask whether is there any documentation that these areas we can use and these areas we cannot use. There is no documentation. Yes, I mean by practice we will come to know. Okay. So this is September percentile data reference set, or else without percentile also you can search. Without percentile, click on search. Without percentile also same data will search. Okay, you may get it. We are already in that page, right? So let's take common. This is a Oracle series one. I'm not using percentile. Click on search. See, so without percentile also you can search, or else with percentile also we can search the data. So this is my data reference set which I configured. Then how this exactly it will work, we will come to know at the time of business unit. We already told you what is the theoretical concept. Setup wise, we'll verify at the time of creating the business unit. So click on save and close. So directly you can click on save and close, but don't go to direct save and close button. First save it, cross verify and perform save and close initially. So you will understand whether the data is saving correctly or not. Okay, we configured a data reference set. So in e-business suite, we need to configure business group, we need location, functional currency, as well as 6 inventory key flexi fields. We need all these information. In cloud application, key flexi fields are not mandatory, just location, and even location is also not mandatory. Even location also not mandatory, but I am configuring in a location. I am creating enterprise in a specific location, but from application standpoint, even location also not mandatory. Okay. So go to
Sarath,
yes.
like yesterday we have created the implementation project, right?
Yes.
Yesterday we created implementation project, right?
Yes,
So why are we not going through implementation project and then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So earlier versions we need to navigate to setups through implementation project only, but from release 13 onwards, it is even release 12 onwards also we can configure directly from setup and maintenance without creating implementation project. So just for tracking purpose only we need to, I mean the suggestible way to use implementation project, or else configuring setups from setup and maintenance from specific offering is easy, and searching also it is easy. Now everyone is following performing setups from setup and maintenance only. This is the easy way to save a lot of time.
Okay.
But earlier in release 8, if you say release 8, at any cost we need to use implementation project. In release 9, yes, we need to use implementation project. 10 and 11 also. Coming to release 12, implementation project we have to maintain, but setup and from setup and maintenance also we can define setups, but still few setups not available in setup and maintenance. But from release 13, without creating implementation project, you can directly implement setups. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Then the next setup is only location is mandatory for creating the enterprise. As I said, till legal entity will go with basic setups only. So go to click on manage locations, the task name. So same, navigate to procurement offering, select enterprise profile functional area, click on show all tasks, click on manage locations. Just use the scroll bar to scroll down. So here, if you define any locations, you can search your location. So far, I didn't configure any location. So I'm going to create a location by click on plus icon. Click on create. Click on create. Yes.
Sarath, what was the navigation for this? Are you within the reference data set at this point, or how did you get to create location?
Yeah, navigation. Okay. So navigation is, so navigate to setup and maintenance. Once you log into the implementation user who is having application implementation consultant role, so navigate to setup and maintenance. From here, click on setup and maintenance.
Yeah. Okay. So
Navigate to procurement offering. Even we can configure from compensation management also. Wherever the task is there, from there we can configure. But for to remember the to access the application easily, to avoid the confusion, initially we'll configure from procurement offering. Switch to procurement offering. Select enterprise profile functional area. So here you can see manage location tasks, or else if you say click show all tasks, use this scroll bar, scroll down. Here you can see manage locations. This is the task.
Okay, I got a little confused since you said that location has to be part of the reference data set. So yeah, that's fine.
We need to, yeah, I mean, location we need to create with data reference set only. That is the reason first we configure data reference set.
Oh.
Click on manage locations. So far we didn't create any, so that's why we are unable to search any data. Let's create by click on plus icon. Click on create. See effective date. By default, this date will take from LICOP. So this, which is configured by system level configuration level. So if you want, you can change the date also. If you want, you can change the date. Let's take an example, 2018. So 2018 January 1st. So here location set nothing but data reference set. So in which data reference set we are creating this location? So by default, common set is a Oracle seeded data reference set. So just remove that one. So yes, we need to create location in a data reference set. That is the reason first I created a data reference set. So here start typing SEP. Automatically system will search for you SEP data reference set, SEP DRS. So if you don't want to search like this, then here you can see drop down button. Click on this drop down button. So click on search. Click on search. So here in the data reference set code SEP percentage, select search. Select SCP data reference set, select OK. Likewise, you can choose. So in demo environments, if you click like this, so you can see hundreds of data reference sets created by Oracle as well as some other persons. But in real time, max people will use 1 or 2 data reference sets only. I mean, the agenda of data reference set itself is sharing the data across business units, right? I mean, the agenda itself is sharing data across business units, correct?
Yes.
So that is the reason maximum people will use 1 or 2. Even by default, once you procure the license, so you won't see entire vision data. You won't see all the vision data, CRT manufacturing unit data, all these things you won't see. But are some concepts like a data reference sets, common data reference set, and what is that, enterprise data reference set. So both the naming data reference sets will be available by default in the application. If you want, even you can use either common or enterprise set rather than creating your own also. So even we referred for some, so when we go with some freelance project, even we referred the specific using a common as well as enterprise only, and then again creating new. So why we say that, I will tell you in future at the time of OEM level, OEM discussion level, I will tell you why we preferred go with Oracle seeded one only. Okay. So here as we need to understand the concept, we are creating our own data reference set. So action reason. So why you are creating this data reference set? So this reasons will come from a lookup. A lookup, nothing but where we are going to store the values. In e-business suite, from the lookups, we are going to create a lookups. From the lookups, our technical team will call the data if you want to go with any customizations. But in cloud application, we have hundreds of lookups by default created by Oracle. From the lookups only, they will call the data, and those are the seeded functionalities. So, but there is a concept of lookup configuration level, so system level, user level, as well as extension level. So sometimes like user level, nothing but we can create our own data. Some different features is there. Lookups we have to so we'll discuss at the time of inventory. So inventory lookups we'll discuss in detail. So just I'm giving a overview from where this value is coming. Action reason. It is not mandatory. Location. What is the name of location? As I said, anything I will start with SCP underscore September underscore enterprise location. So this is my location name. Code. So earlier I said for data reference set we shouldn't allow any spaces. For implementation project code where we shouldn't allow any spaces. Remember? Did you remember, guys?
Yes, sir.
But here spaces will allow. Then how we have to understand? By practice only we will come to know these simple differences. Or else once you save, automatically system will give you error message. You can refer that error message and you can correct it. Okay, that's not a big deal. I mean, so you may think like, okay, there is a lot of differences. There's not a lot of differences. If you miss something, then automatically system will give you error message without saving. By reading the error message, we can rectify that one. So the message description will be very clear in cloud application. Okay, here code SCP underscore enterprise location. Description. If you want, you can give some description. By default, the status is active. That means it is a active location. And if this particular location is no longer you are using, then you have to make it as inactive. You have to make it as inactive. See, even if you place cursor here, so what is the message node populated? Select inactive for a site that is not yet in use or closed. Either the site is not started to use, then we will make it inactive, or else if that is in close, we will make it inactive. Likewise, sometimes in some around 40% of the application, you can see nodes clearly. Inventory organization. So usually in procurement, in schedules, if you don't want to allow to update the inventory organization itself rather than updating the location, we will associate a inventory organization to the location, which is a procurement schedules concept. Remember procurement schedule shipment concept in e-business suite also. Okay, so that is the purpose why we will use our inventory organization assignment to location, but it's not mandatory. Again, this one we can delete. We can test this scenario at procurement area. So we'll verify and we'll test at that time. Okay, it's just a simple concept.
Can you come again?
Okay, so what will happen is, for example, in procurement, once you create a purchase order, you will choose ship to location as well as bill to location. Once you choose ship to location, the location associated to which inventory, that inventory will populate in the schedules tab, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. In EBS. It will populate or not?
Yeah, it will populate.
Yes, it will populate. Then can I override that inventory organization without overriding ship to location in e-business suite? Yes, we can override, correct?
Don't know. Yeah.
So we can override that inventory, but in e-business suite itself, if you don't want to allow people to override that inventory without changing location, ship to location, then in e-business suite also location creation form, we have inventory assignment. If you assign inventory organization here by default, then what will happen? Without changing ship to location, the inventory from schedules tab will be grayed out mode. You cannot modify inventory alone. You have to modify location itself. Okay.
So, Sarath, the location is tightly coupled with the org, right?
Yes.
Every org has a location.
Yes.
So today in ERP, what you're saying is you can say the receiving organization is 1, but your location can be something else that may not be associated with that org.
Yes, I mean, yes, you are correct. I mean, so the location and inventory can be different also. That is also a possible scenario.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
else, what we can refer is rather than this one, the correct scenario is, for example, the warehouse. Let's take what is this one? Walmart distribution centers. So we know how big the Walmart distribution centers is there. Correct.
Mm. Yeah.
So Walmart distribution centers, they are going to have different receiving locations. Usually, what I observed is a Walmart or this Tesco, all these distribution centers are even that is very long. One
Yeah.
distribution center, one warehouse having multiple pin codes. Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So in that scenario, so we are going to so the receivings will happen across warehouse in different pin codes or wrong.
Yes.
So in that scenario, what will happen? So for one inventory, we are going to have 5 different locations, but in the
Right.
application, we will choose only one location.
Yes. Yeah.
But receiving, so inventory is same, but location we are going to receive in separate location for same inventory, because there is another pin code which is completely north side. Let's take north, central, and south. The inventory we are dividing as a north side, central side, and south side. So some materials I want to receive in north side, some materials I want to receive in south side, some materials I want to receive in central side, because the warehouse is very big. In that scenario, what will happen? For inventory, we will create one location. Either we will choose north or south, and we will assign only one location to inventory. But once we place the purchase order, for the ship to location, let's take automatically it will populate south side location. For south side location, the inventory will populate as a some New York inventory. In that scenario, rather than south side location, you want to receive in north side location for the same inventory. Is that a common scenario or not?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes we receive into sub-inventories also.
Yeah, sub-inventory is different. There is different. There is a direct delivery concept.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
different. Is this
Yeah.
a common scenario?
Yeah,
In
that
the
is understood, Sharath. Yeah, like what you're saying is there could be 5 locations associated with an inventory organization, but on the setup level, you're going to specify only one location.
one location. So, but if you assign inventory organization, so even you have 5 different locations. For that inventory, you have to receive in the specific location only. This specific location only. You cannot receive in other locations. If you want to restrict like that, then
Okay.
the
Then you
person need to, sorry.
Then you mentioned the org. This is for this org. This is the only location.
Yes, for this org, you need to receive only in this location. That kind of restriction we can put. That means the truck person also need to deliver only this location. Even the warehouse is very big. There is other gates also, but the truck person need to deliver here only. Likewise, we have a restriction. Just to ensure that buyer cannot update the inventory org from schedules level.
Okay. So we need to change the location if you want to.
Yes, we need to change the location. Then you can manually choose the inventory another separately in that scenario.
And which scenario that it will be graded out? You told us.
Which scenario? So the scenario where we assigned a inventory for specific location. In that scenario, the ship to location has to change, but not inventory.
Okay. Inventory will be graded out. We can change ship to location.
Then automatically system will allow us to choose inventory.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, anyhow, so now we are creating only location. It is not procurement running. We are very beginning stage only, right?
Okay.
So it is the first day to start with setup. Okay. Okay. Description. Then attachments. So if you have any attachments, any documents or anything, you can add as a attachment. So latitudes and longitudes. So location, latitude and longitude, nothing but geographical information. If you have that information, you can add that location, latitudes and longitude also. Then contact details, where this location exists. So this location is exist in India. So select India. See, if you choose India, only address line and city is mandatory. If you choose United States, so then I mean pin code and everything is mandatory. And even pin code by default, all pin codes will be available for US address. The reason is there is the geographical information and territory information concepts is there. So which will be taken care by human capital management team, not even financials. Okay, so the seeded setups for India address, the mandatory values are line and city. Now I'm going to choose the line. So SCP underscore enterprise, some dummy data, enterprise address, some dummy data I'm choosing. In real time we are going to choose the real data given by our client. So then city or town, this is located in Hyderabad inventory. Pin code, so some pin code. State, all these are not mandatory. State pin code is not mandatory. If you want to make it as mandatory, then you need to configure some managed geography and managed territory setups is there. You need to configure those setups. Then time zone code. So what is our time zone? 5:30 hours from plus 5:30 from maritime time zone. That means universal time zone. So it is 5:30 Kolkata India time. Official language, it's American English. If you have a seeded, default email ID for specific inventory location or enterprise location or any location, you can give the email ID, or else it's not mandatory. Geographic hierarchy. So if you define hierarchies, you can define the hierarchy one by one. This is the geography locations. We can choose, or else it's not mandatory. Main phone. What is the main phone for this address? As well as what is the default fax for this address? What is the default other phone, secondary phone for this address? We can choose and scroll down. Shipping details. So this is the address. Whether from this address we can ship materials to outside. If yes, ship to site is yes, yes we can ship. Receiving site. If you want to ship material, we need to receive the material or not. Simple logic. You want to ship some item to your end customer. So if you want to ship material from your inventory, any location, from your location, do you need to receive material in your location or not? Without receiving, are you going to directly ship? No, right?
You can make it in your location.
Yeah, even make also, you need components.
You can make components also.
Yeah, even if you want to make components, you need raw material. Do you need raw material or not? Even if you want to make it.
Yeah. How about settings like software?
Okay, that is different. Yeah, that is different. I agree. But still, so software also usually, if you want to ship also, that means you are maintaining some space and everything. Automatically, you need office supplies and all those things required by default. That's a common scenario. Like at least, so you want to sell software only from this location. Then okay, that is different. Actually, selling software is different. Okay, still you are selling software CDs something. So again, CDs, okay, you say everything is your manufacturing. Still, if you want to manufacture the machineries and everything, you need to receive in your inventory. It is something we need to receive. If you want to make it as a active location from where we are going to ship something to outside, so at least something we need to receive. That is the reason. By default, if you choose ship to site, it is going to be grayed out and it is going to be by default yes. Usually, this is a very common scenario. At least we need to receive office supplies also, like Xerox papers, computers, pens. At least we need to receive some basic stuff. So that is the reason. If you choose this location as a shipping site, then by default it is going to be a receiving site. If you make it no, then system will ask you to choose the ship to location. Then as we are not shipping from this site, so then system will allow you to choose receiving or yes or no. In this scenario, system will make it. Okay, at this moment I'm going to make it ship to location yes. So by default it is receiving site also, and we can send a billing copy. Our customers can send a billing copy to this site, as well as we can send a payable invoice copy to our customers from this site. So this is also the common scenario. Okay. So then office site, whether this site will act as a office site or not. Designated receiver, nothing but a specific. So we can say one person as a specific receiver for your entire inventory. He is the default receiver. If you say a designated receiver, that specific location, we can maintain one specific person as a receiver, but still other persons also can receive the material. So then designated receiver, nothing but is going to be default receiver for this location. So this is the shipping details. So for any questions still here, create. So if you want, you can add some images also. If you want, you can add some image also, building image also by click on edit. So just image web address, you have to give the web address for the image and just add it. So that's fine.
How are the coordinates being used? Where those coordinates are being used?
Coordinates nothing but latitudes and longitudes only.
Then how are they? Some other application uses this for something, or why will this information be used anywhere?
These coordinates usually, I mean, just for reference purpose only. So we won't use any other application area, like not procurement. We won't use anywhere. Just for our reference purpose only, we are going to give this coordinate, latitude and longitudes.
Okay. So absolutely know where that location is physically,
Yeah,
geography.
for our purpose.
Okay. So all it is there is location, the inventory org, the address details, whether it is a ship to, receive to.
Yeah, same in
And-
e-business suite, ma'am. Actually, same in e-business suite. There is no changes. Creation of location. So, but there is some more extra fields is there. So, but all these fields are available in EBS also, creating the location. But where
That
we open in the
yeah.
tabs. Sorry.
That office site, what does that signify? The office site?
Just we are mentioning whether this is a office site, nothing but. So whether are we going to maintain some office, sales office, purchasing office, likewise, just for a reference purpose, whether this works as a office site or not. That's it.
Okay.
These three has major functionality. Office site just for a reference, whether we will say that this is my head office site, like that.
Okay. It's not like a DC, but it is just a sales office kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. If you want to maintain this location. So now I'm enabling all. That means, yes, this from this we can ship, from this we can receive, from this we can send a billing copies or we can receive billing copies. From this we can maintain a sales offices, like that. Everything I'm maintaining in this location only. Anyone have any, because going forward we need to create minimum 4 to 5 locations. At that time I will create quickly, so because say fields are going to be the same. Rather than enterprise I will say business unit location, or else I will say inventory location, like that. That is the reason. So I mean same values you can see again. So rather than discussing like this, I'm going to quickly create in 1 minute. That is the reason. Any questions so far till shipping details?
What about designated receiver?
So designated receiver, nothing but he is a default receiver for this specific location.
Okay.
He is a default receiver to receive any item, but still any others also can receive.
Okay.
But if you want to choose designated receiver, so first we need to configure setup still business unit, then we need to create employee user, then only we can assign. So in this scenario, what you can do, so first we have to leave it blank, and if you want to assign, once we configure the enterprise structure, come back and assign again after creating employee user. Yeah. Others. Akash, do you have any questions so far?
Sarath, like, do we have any DFFs or something like that for this?
Yes, DFFs is there. For example, here the context value, this is a DFF only.
Okay.
So you can configure the DFF. Even in cloud, not only DFF, even we have EFF concept also. Now, earlier in e-business suite, we have key flexifield, descriptive flexifield concepts. In cloud application, we have key flexifield concept, descriptive flexifield concept, and extensible flexifield concept also available. Okay, this context value is DFF only.
Okay.
But the DFF is just blank DFF, that's all. So if you want, we can customize the DFF. Okay, then extra information. So these values will be configured by Oracle seeded human capital management setups, Spanish property rented, all these things. If you want, you can change these details and you can assign all these rental agreements. If this is a rental one, then we can choose the rental agreements, floor numbers, door numbers, all these details we can choose, as well as the legislative information. So trading numbers, including for reportings, all these things you can choose. Ideally, these locations will configure by human capital management team, as well as what is the maximum number of employees and all these things. So, but these are not mandatory. These are additional information. So even real time also, no one will configure all this information. And this is legislative, legal information related to this site. So if you want, you can maintain at site level what is the trade name and everything. So or else, so it's not mandatory again. So reporting names and all these things, if you want, you can choose, or else it's not mandatory. So extra information and legislative information. In real time, who will take care? Human capital management team will take care if you want to implement fully human capital management in cloud application itself. So select. So once first save it. So your changes were saved. Okay. So again, before submitting, if you want to review whether you created correctly or not, click on review button. Then it will open in a printable PDF page. So it's a printable PDF page. You can print the page and you can take the sign also, or else it's not mandatory. So you can review the data locations. It is correct, name, code, status, like that. Just cross verify the details. So main address is correct, as well as shipping details and everything is correct. So once you feel that all these information correct, select submit. Once you submit, so the request will be submitted. Do you want to continue? These are the HRC requests which will submit in the backend. So HRC request will complete automatically without any issues. So concurrent request concept is there. HRC request concept is there. Concurrent request nothing but where we can see all the programs and everything in a business suite. So similar terminology, concurrent request we will pronounce in cloud application as schedule processes. In cloud application, concurrent request nothing but we will say schedule process. Just make a note. All these simple differences in terms of pronunciation, make a note. So concurrent request nothing but schedule process. Schedule processes. Actually, the complete name is schedule process. So this is what we will use to pronounce as scheduled processes. Okay. So this is HRC request which will submit in the backend, and the data will submit automatically. You won't see any issues. If there is any issues before save itself, automatically system will give you a red mark. So okay. So now we created location successfully. Select done. So again, if you want to verify your location, again navigate to procurement offerings, select enterprise profile functional area, select manage locations. Search your location, CB percentile. So this is our location. So there is no mapping results. So if there is any potential locations which is in near naming convention, then system will give the map percentage. 20% naming is mapped, 50% like that. System will give the map results. So far there is no map results. Okay, select done. We created a location, then we'll configure enterprise. Then how to configure? Navigate to procurement offerings, select enterprise profile, select show all tasks. The last one, manage enterprise HCM information. Manage enterprise HCM, human capital management information. So here, by default, you can maintain only one enterprise name across application. This is a single setup. Someone yesterday asked me, yesterday or day before yesterday someone asked me whether can we maintain multiple business groups. Remember, guys?
Yeah, sure.
But business group, yes, we can maintain in EBS, but in cloud application, enterprise, we can maintain only one. If you want, you can go with the line of businesses as a divisions. That means we can maintain only one enterprise across application. And by default, so in real environment, you can see as a, in real environment, you can see as a blank data. In demo environment, you can see Vision Corporation, but already a lot of people keep on updating this one. We click on history. So here you can see entire history data. Here you can see entire history. Who changed from when? Who changed when? And one more thing, guys. I just want to update this point also. Even without configuring enterprise also, you can proceed because already in demo environments, seeded enterprise will be available. In demo environments, seeded enterprise information will be available. Without changing also, you can proceed. But I'm going to configure. Click on edit. So click on update or correct. Which one you are going to do? Let's update the record data. Let's update. What is the reason when you are updating today? If you want, you can mention the action reason, reorganization. So click on OK. Click on OK. So name. So September underscore enterprise. See, whatever the star mark is mandatory. Name is mandatory. Status is mandatory. Is location mandatory?
No.
No.
So location is not mandatory, but just anyhow we need to discuss creating the location, right? That's why I created a location and I'm creating this enterprise in specific location. Then select start search. Search your location, SCP percentage, SCP enterprise location, click on OK. So you can click on search button or else you can hit enter button also, automatically system will search. If you have any attachments, you can add it. Then scroll down. So here, organization information. So workday information. What is the workday information? What is the enterprise information? See what is the work start time and end time? What is the standard working hours? And what is the worker number generation? How the system will generate employee user number and employment model. What is the employment model you are going to use? What is the people group flexible structures? All these things you can see. You can see here. Initial person number from 10,000. This is the initial person number. So automatic upon finance. So once you save, automatically person details will save. Likewise, you can see entire enterprise information, payroll information, all these things. So tell me, in e-business suite, at what level you have to maintain HRMS setups? In e-business suite, at what level we can maintain HRMS setups?
Business group and legal entity.
Now, in e-business suite, we need to maintain it at business group level. Remember, we have to add HR organization also in the business group. In classifications, we have to add HR organization also. Then only we can create employee. HR organization. Remember, guys?
Yeah, it's a profile value, right?
Profile value is there as well as at business group classification level also we need to add. So in HRMS setups, we can maintain HRMS setups. So we can maintain. We have to configure HRMS setups at business group in e-business suite. So in cloud application, we can configure HRMS setups at enterprise or legal entity level. So HRMS, what we are going to pronounce in cloud?
HCM.
HCM?
HCM. Okay. So then, these setups will configure at the time of a legal entity. So just we are creating enterprise, select submit. So the request will be submitted, select yes. Select OK. Select done. So now we created enterprise. This is the top level in enterprise structure. And in demo environments, even you can go with the seeded one without creating enterprise. Also in demo environments, you can practice it. You can practice the application. In real environment, we need to configure. So this is already it's 9:10. Tomorrow we'll start with primary ledger setups. So initial 2 weeks will go like this only. Okay, guys. Initial 1 week will go like this only.
Okay.
So is it okay to do whatever you did now for individually with our login or no?
Yeah, you can do it. Actually, what happened is classroom instance is in downtime. So that is the reason I just used this instance. So ideally, we are going to use classroom instance only. When I start the session, This particular
Yeah.
environment is in downtime. Same setups I'm going to configure again in this environment, and we are going to continue in this login only with the same setups. But at the
Okay.
time of starting the session, this is in downtime. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can change it. So because I'm not going to use from tomorrow, this instance, so same setups is available in here also. Okay, because I'm going to create.
Okay.
Okay.